Good afternoon, good late afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, it's Tuesday, so we're going back to that horrible world known as the Agape boarding school, but before we get into it, the usual disclaimers. In the description case, you are going to see the links to all the articles and YouTube videos we have gone over so far with this subject. As I continue to do these videos every Tuesday, I will continue to build upon that part of my description box, including in all the links so that you can bring it up for yourselves and share on all your social media. You're also going to see in there the change.org shut the Agape boarding school down petition. I want you to share that on all your social media as well. Make sure to sign it, okay? Alright, you're also going to find everything in regards to the Stop the Shocks campaign I put in every single video. First off, with the massive archive on the subject from Lydia Brown, also known as Autistic Hoya, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. Folks, when we discuss the Agape boarding school situation, you are going to hear vivid descriptions of alleged sexual, physical abuse, as well as torture and starvation of minor students. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, okay? Another disclaimer, I curse on this channel if you're new. I curse a lot. So again, this is not for young children, okay? It is 4:56 p.m. I'm not quite brain dead, but I'm sure I'm getting there. So if I stumble over my words, you guys, you know the drill. Apologies in advance, alright? And this article is written from one of my local news outlets, which I like to try to keep you guys on in regards to this situation since it's happening out here. There are other pieces written by other states. We may bring them in at some point. But we got our hands on the pulse of the issues going on. So, yeah. But by the way, before we get into it, that's our weather right now. With thunderstorms all freaking around Berry County, Christian, everybody's getting hit, which means more than likely we're going to be getting hit at some point here pretty quick. But anyways, that's another subject. This is from Ozarks First, also known as Color 10 out here. Local news. Agape boarding school abuse case moves forward in court. This is back from early May this year, guys. Relatively new. Okay, so Stockton, Missouri. The cases against 5 people who worked at Agape boarding school are moving forward. Each worker is facing abuse charges. Seth Duncan was charged with 5 counts of third-degree assault. He was scheduled to be in court again on May 11th. I haven't heard any more about this, by the way. Trent Hartman was charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault. He was scheduled to appear in court again on July the 22nd for a preliminary hearing. Again, guys, I'll look that up. Scott Dunmar was charged with 4 counts of third-degree assault and was scheduled to appear in court on August the 11th, 2022 for preliminary hearing. Everett Graves was charged with 1 count of third-degree assault and was also scheduled to appear in court on August the 11th for a preliminary hearing. Christopher McElray was charged with 1 count of third-degree assault and was scheduled for a preliminary hearing on August the 11th. Agape boarding school is one of Missouri boarding schools that have been at the center of abuse allegations. A doctor who provided care for the students at Agape boarding school was accused of child sex crimes in late 2021. The owners of another boarding school, Circle of Hope, are facing dozens of abuse charges. Remember, that school is actually closed down, but it's still facing charges. So this is kind of going over a little bit what has Eric Schmidt acting all snowflakeish, ew, where they are just basically trying to give these guys a slap on the wrist, if you notice. They are not really taking seriously anything these boys have to say. And boy, in the disabled world, the mental health issues world, do we know and understand that concept, especially out here in Missouri. I've come across more people in my own state when I just bring up my own experiences from my childhood where, oh, but she must be exaggerating. It wasn't really that as bad as they're making it sound. You know, yeah, yeah. And a lot of people in my state tend to do that. They downplay stuff so that they can ignore it and go on with their own selfish little so-called Christian lives. I've seen it time and again, especially these smaller counties like Stockton. There's quite a few small towns, folks. Towns and counties that have been acting, with like literally no one's permission, as almost like their own little independent states, like their own little countries, as it were. So, like outside state rules or federal rules don't seem to really apply. It seems like out here, local and state prosecutors have this level of apprehension and fear to go after schools like this. And why? Because it's a Christian school. And why again? We're in the Bible Belt. And why? One more time. Because in these small communities, this evangelical Christianity has a complete and utter chokehold. And out in this area, it comes with, they have this real sense of victimization that they place on themselves all the time. We're under attack. We're under attack all the time. Now imagine dealing with a county with that mentality. And you have a Christian boarding school getting away with atrocities every single day, using that Midwest Christianity as a shield. And when they hide behind that shield, and then the state comes knocking, what are they going to do, folks? They're going to rally around them, regardless of what the charges are, because it's a Christian school. I'm not making this up. This is how it works out here. Because the state going after these bastards for real atrocities to these small communities looks like somebody is on the outside is trying to disrupt and attack their faith. It is the weirdest shit I've ever seen, but I've seen it. I've literally gone to churches and sat in pews, and the constant, they're attacking us, they're attacking our values. God. And back then, it wasn't like I could turn around and say, no one's attacking you, Karen. It's scary out here, is all I can say about it, really. It really can be. That's why you have people like Eric Schmidt all about ready to tuck tail and run. On one hand, he knows. He goddamn knows there should be a lot more charges on that school. But between his own political aspirations and knowing very well who he's going to have to suck up to start, filling his war chest, it is a hard sell out here to go against a Christian school. Like, beyond hard sell. Like, I am pretty sure I would have to have a shot of every single incident being alleged in front of their faces, and even then, there will be at least a good third who would say, but that's not what it looks like, though. Those are your conspiracy Missourians, the ones that you're just jerry-rigging it. You're trying to fool us. I dealt with those individuals, too. They're fun. But it's what they do. And it's disgusting. It is beyond disgusting that our state officials do not have the balls to go and protect the most goddamn vulnerable of us because Christians. Even though you have a majority of the Christians in this area that when you tell them what's going on, they're utterly appalled. When you actually go through the information with them, when you actually let them see the information instead of it being mentioned in the news like an afterthought, yeah, but the politicians are so scared of these Christian movements out here that they are extremely reluctant to go after these types of schools. It's really sad. And in this case, it's infuriating. Because you cannot be allowed in this state to use religion as a shield to protect you from any kind of accountability. It is disgusting that there is no oversight, none, over these types of schools. It is just as dangerous and deadly as the JRC holding the consent decree over the heads of the Massachusetts courts. It's like they're using that as a shield and then also to grant them immunity. Why are we playing along with this? Eric Schmidt, if you can't handle a small county prosecutor, if you can't handle speaking truth to stupid, if you can't handle doing your job in spite of what's surrounding you out there, yeah, the Cedar County prosecutor probably did stonewall you. These insular communities work as a unit to protect one another. You are the state official. You are our attorney general. It is your job to protect these boys, get justice for the victims that are out there, and get the rest of them the hell out. Grow some balls. How many decades of boys need to go through that school and be traumatized, or possibly even end up like the 6 dead at the JRC? What is it going to take? These charges are not good enough. They're not good enough. Do your job. Then think about running for governor. Because right now, I don't think you have any ability at all to become the governor of my state, Mr. Schmidt. That being said, folks, I'm going to keep abreast of this topic as I can. I know there's actual lawsuits against the staff within the school. I'm trying to find court documents. As soon as I do, I will, of course, bring them on this channel. And folks, I kind of got rambling, but I kind of wanted to give you a picture of what it's like out here. It's almost like being from a different type of world and worldview. These individuals play the victim without calling themselves a victim. It's the weirdest shit, I tell you. But they're very apocalyptic at times. It's almost like being surrounded by a cult. Not all the Christians out there around my area are like that, but there's a scary amount of them that are. And some of them run for office from time to time. Whew. Help me. Anything Christian-oriented businesses, schools out here. They hide one another, they protect one another, and they rule these small communities. Between the biggest church in town, they rule these communities. They do. Attack anything Christian, even if it's legitimate, like this school. And you see where I'm going with this. Okay, folks, I've babbled long enough. I'm going to go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon. As always, we here at Spoon Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.